Boxing Arizona. This is our first edition of Boxing Talk, and we are so pleased to have you. You've always been so gracious. First of all, I'd like you to introduce yourself and talk a little about what you do.
Well, I want to thank you for allowing me to be here with you today. My name is Richard Soto. I'm Chief of Officials for the state of Arizona, USA Boxing. We're Region 9. We're LBC, Arizona. And what I do is I take care of all the officiating that goes along with the shows, and I make sure everything's under control and going by the rules.
Great. So tell us a little bit about how you got involved in boxing.
That's a little funny. The thing was, is I have 4 daughters and 1 son. One of my daughters, my son from a previous wife. I didn't have my son with me, but I was with my daughters. And they were in dance, gymnastics. They were doing all the girl activities. I was always the only dad there. Most of the fathers didn't go to the end of the competitions or anything. So I had a bunch of little girls around me all the time. And one day, I looked at my wife and said, you know what, I want to do something with the male involvement. And I was watching boxing on television. So I can do that, I can judge. So I got a hold of Harvey Present, you know Harvey. Mm-hmm. He was a national coach, and he got me in touch with Joe Joseph, who was the chief of officials at that time. And I went down they asked me to come down to the shows, like I trained most of my officials. And they said, you sure you never done this? I said, no. You sure? I said, yeah, okay. My score was the score. So get into another show, went the same thing, and finally he said, you know what, you're an official, you're in. So that's how I got myself involved into that. Besides the fact that my nephews own a gym, own a gym in Downey, California, Nobel, California, and they was always involved in boxing, so I'd go and visit him once in a while.
Great, great. So I'd like to start out describing to people how you become registered with USA Boxing and the different aspects of it, from the judges to the coaches to the boxers themselves. What is the process for that?
It's really very simple. If you want to be part of USA Boxing, just get onto their website, USA Boxing, and go to the national part of it. And you'll click, and each one of those there will tell you whether you want to be, what's it for the coaches, it's for the officials, it's for the boxers, or just a support, because they do need all the support they want. USA Boxing is a fantastic organization. You know, we're actually part of the Olympics. What people see at the Olympics, we do here. The same thing.
Great.
So it's a well-run organization. I'm very proud to be a member of it for about 20 years now. And just click on now. They have a section for officials, which is the judge, referee, timekeepers. They have a section for coaches. They have a section for clubs, and you just have to click on whatever it is you want to do on it.
Right, and do prices vary depending on what you wanted to get into?
Yes, they do.
Okay, and that can all be found on the website?
That can all be found on their website.
Great. So my next question for you is, can you explain to people that even though they register as an amateur boxer, sometimes they won't always get a fight when they show up to the matches just because of the weigh-in process and the matching process. So don't be discouraged.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, we've had them travel from New Mexico, Texas, and we're unable to box. By the way, we don't use the word fight.
Right.
We use box.
Box.
They weren't able to box at that time because they didn't make the weight. They were too overweight, and there wasn't a match. I mean, that's the way that does go. They have a system where weights and ages are. Okay, 8, 9, 10 is a peewee, 11, 12 is intermediate, and so forth. They go up to the elite, to seniors, and they all have their regulation as far as weight-wise, and as far as gloves they wear. Everything's set on what they have on that. So if they can't meet the criteria, we can't allow them to box. It's USA Boxing, and this type of boxing is a very safe sport. All right, we really emphasize on safety. Just because you want to make a bout, I'm not going to let it happen.
Great.
You can't get one boxer that's going to be the first time he's boxing and have a boxer that boxed 20 times. I don't care if they're 8 years old, 10, 11, 12, up to 40. That shouldn't happen. I mean, that's, and if for some reason they do make it a little bit higher than that, then of course they tell me, and I will assign a referee that'll immediately stop the bout when it's going real wrong.
Great. So what you're saying is your priority is that the boxer's safety is first.
Safety first.
Wonderful, wonderful. My next question for you is, describe, we have a Masters tournament coming up, and I'm really excited for that. It's going to be at Sonny's Boxing Gym. Can you kind of explain about that and the criteria to be in the Masters tournament?
Well, because I'm 73 years of age, Master Tournament is fantastic. It's a dream. It's something a male person or female, we have a lot of females, want to do. How exciting
Right.
to get in that ring and box at that age.
Yes.
Wow, you watch all these kids and you say, well, you know, I really wanted to do that when I was a kid. So I support it very highly. I really do. I think it's a fantastic thing to let someone do something they wanted to do that they didn't have the opportunity to do as myself, as a child.
Right.
Okay. One of the things was when I was a kid, forgive me, my father told me there was nothing in this world but to work. I couldn't play sports. I got to play football a little bit. They asked me to box. Dad said no. And I've learned that sports, regardless of what it is, or not even just sports, whatever. I mean, if you're a backgammon champion, that's great. But it gives the young people a mind of something to go for.
That sounds so
Keeps
good.
them occupied. They're not out in the street. They know that they'll have to do their homework to be a member of the team. They know they have to study to be a member of the team. So sports and any of that type of activity that the kids can do, like my daughters, wow, I support it highly.
Great. It's a really healthy thing to do.
Oh, very healthy. I wish I would have had the opportunity as a young person.
Now, is there anything that you cannot, meaning like, for example, if you were a professional boxer, you can't turn back and become amateur, and if you were in martial arts of any kind, can you explain to people a little bit about that to become a USA Boxing member?
Martial arts, such as an MMA, you can become, if you're doing amateur martial arts, you can become an amateur boxer or USA Boxing, but you must disclose the amount of fights or bouts that you've had so that you can still be matched up with another one. Professional, no.
Right.
Well, you know, this is all about Olympics. That's what USA Boxing is, okay, besides just our local shows here. In the Olympics, you could not be a professional to compete. So that made it very difficult because most of your other nations would, instead of paying them, put them into their military and let them practice and represent the country that way. So they had a lot of professional type people that were coming against our amateurs. We still did great. Look at Michael Carbajal. Okay. Look at these kids. He's fantastic. They made it through it and they did it, but still it was difficult. So then we were not allowed, if you went into professional basketball, professional boxing, professional baseball, because they had that in the Olympics, you couldn't compete as an Olympian. They changed that the last Olympics. If you had only so many bouts of professional, and don't quote me on it, I'm just going by memory, of professional boxing, you could still come back and try for the Olympics. And that was, I think that was the last Olympics that they started doing that. I don't have it if they have it this year or not.
Okay, great. And I feel like also for the boxers that preparation is key when it comes to being prepared with your birth certificate, your physical examination, that all of that stuff be done when you do come to the bouts.
Yes. Well, the reason, there are different various state parts of it that it goes. First of all, if you're just doing a local show, all you have to do is your physical. You don't need a birth certificate. Okay. Anybody can box regardless of citizenship or not. However, if you're a non-citizen, you cannot go forward. You can't go to regionals, the state champions, nationals, because you're not a citizen of the United States. So that's where the birth certificate comes in. So when you do go to compete, you prove, yes, I am. If you don't have it, they can't prove it, you're not allowed to box.
Well, thank you so much for sharing that with us. Can you tell us what is involved in getting a sanction to throw an amateur show?
That is done after a new club has had over a year with us here in Arizona. Then they can put in for a sanction. They can go to the USA Boxing website, and that's how they put for the sanction. The sanction, then in return, they issue them a number. Then they send to us and ask for our approval. Our local boxing club has that approval. So.
And something that you also want to express to people is how important it is to kind of give a little bit of an advance notice, let's say 30 days or more, because USA boxing officials are all volunteers. And so some of you have other jobs and things to do, that it's important that they give you enough time to prepare and get your travel arrangements intact and everything.
Yeah, it is. I feel really bad. We don't have really enough officials here in Arizona. If you want to be an official, come on down. Give me a call. Find out what you like. I'd be more than happy to help you, train you, teach you what it is. One of the things people don't want to be an official is because the crowd goes, boo! Well, you know what I tell my officials? Take the boo as a compliment, because you know what you're doing. The crowd doesn't know. Judging, one of the things of judging is it's almost the same as professionalism now, as the professional judges do. We're trained for the criteria of judging and giving a score. We're not trained, excuse me to say, for a fight. We're trained for a boxing event. Boxing is what it is. They must have the legal blows, the legal fashion, hit with the proper part of the glove, those things of that nature. So being an official, it takes a lot of training. It takes a lot of training.
And there's tests involved and everything to
Pardon?
become an official, that you have to take a test online?
Yes, there is a test. Now they're testing online. Prior to that, the chief of officials could train the official, and then at the end of the year, they were made into a level 1 official. And then 2 years later, they could test for level 2, and 2 years later for level 3. So there is different stages of officiating.
Great. Now, there is an upcoming election in December for the open seats for USA Boxing. For example, Vice President, I believe, is open, and several other. Can you explain a little bit how that's done? I know this year they're doing it electronically, whereas before they would do it at, let's say, the Gene Lewis tournament in Mesa. Now it's a little bit different.
Yeah, now USA Boxing handles our elections, which great. I have no problem with that. And we're going to hold it, I think it's in December. They take office in January. To be a member, an officer in our LBC, you have to have a registered, it must be a registered club, and you must have at least a minimum of 5 boxers in your club in order to run for the office. And this coming December, we're going president, vice president, secretary,
Chairman, or
pardon?
the one who does the books, registrar?
Yeah, registration chairman and treasurer.
Okay, great. And who can vote?
The only ones that are going to be that are allowed to vote are clubs that are registered.
Okay.
Coaches that have clubs that are registered with 5 boxers or more
Right, okay.
will be allowed to vote in that.
Okay, perfect. Let's see, what else did I want to ask you? Are there any changes that you'd like to see in USA Boxing as it is right now?
No, matter of fact, the changes that are coming is a little difficult for
Really?
me.
Okay.
Because I'm not computer wise.
Okay.
They're going totally computer. There'll be no more books. There'll be no more books for the officials, coaches. Everything's going to be electronic, on record, and we will be doing everything with our laptop. Other than that, like I said, it's hard to change something when it goes so well. USA Boxing is so well organized, so well done. Their involvement has been more into the LBCs. The LBCs means local boxing club. Okay, California, LBC California, so forth. We are Region 9, and there's 4 states involved. It's Arizona, Colorado, New Mexico, and Utah. And that's a region. And then when we have what they call a regional show to get a championship for our region.
Okay.
Regardless of what state they're from in that particular order, as long as they do the championship, they're the champion for that region. And that's been going on long. We used to have the state, the elite people and everything else, but that's been changing. That's what USA Boxing is changing. It's a lot different from when I started in '99.
Nice.
A lot different.
Explain what is the AIBA and what is their role with USA Boxing?
Association Internationale de Boxe.
Okay.
It's a French organization that controls the sport of boxing for the Olympics, the Olympic Committee. There's different levels, as in regular officials. You know, we have 1, 2, 3. AIBAs have the same thing. You have AIBA World, you have AIBA Continent, okay? And the worlds are the ones that go all over the world, represent the United States. They're called in to officiate with it. They're also the ones that do the Olympics. The Continent is just here locally, and AIBA is how would you say it? It's a much larger officiating type of thing. It's the United States part of it. Well, actually, AIBA is a world part of it.
World part of it.
But a lot of the countries don't have, like we have USA Boxing, they have AIBA Boxing. Like Mexico is one, and they have AIBA books, and they have, we all go by the same rules now. Used to be different. USA Boxing had its set of rules, but now we all go through AIBA. AIBA's world dominated. And they're the ones that are able to work the Olympics.
Great, thank you. And the last thing I wanted to ask you, in your opinion, do you feel that the boxing culture is alive and well here in the great state of Arizona?
I feel it is. I mean, you have to see all the kids that went professional, all the ones that they were just high, I was refereeing, and to see them now professionals, and when you go to the shows, you'll hear me announce them.
Yes.
But the boxing program, and it's great. It's good. I think we have some of the best coaches in the United States right here in Arizona.
I agree.
Okay, and I've been through that because I've been, like I said, through the Four Corners. I've been to California, and I've done the Utah. I've been all over with it, and I used to do nationals, but then I stopped because the wife didn't like it. But anyway, that's a personal thing. I went into it, and we did enjoy. I do enjoy the people you meet when you go to a national, the officials, the president of USA Boxing, the director of USA Boxing. They're such wonderful, beautiful people, and it's such a great thing to do. Is to all my officials, I would love to see them go to a national, to a regional. PALs in California. I think in October there's going to be Olympic box-off trials in Ohio. Going to those things and you meet the other officials, you see the other things that are going on. It is tremendous, tremendous. I made a lot of friends. They call me uncle because they're younger than me, but a lot of friends. Some have passed away. They were just great. It was just great. It's a wonderful thing. I'm really happy that I joined USA Boxing.
Well, I am so happy that you did too, and anybody would be so lucky to call you friend or uncle or anything else for that matter. You are so gracious. I could not have asked for a better first guest. I thank you so much for appearing on Boxing Arizona Boxing Talk. And please go on our Facebook group, Boxing Arizona. We have over 5,000 members. We try to keep everybody updated on local, national, international news up to the minute, as well as all the upcoming programs, anything to do with boxing in Arizona and beyond. Thank you very much.